Hello everybody, Ace here, giving it to you straight with day 73 of the Video Log Challenge, and today I wanted to talk to you all about how we've come really far, but we're still in Earth School, so we really need to take a step back, gain some patience, have some faith, and understand it's going to take a little more time. Now, the last week has been a bit rough because it's the end of the year, the start of the year, and there's a little bit of stagnation in there, and that's always been something I've struggled with, is this idea if I'm not moving forward, then I'm stuck standing still, and I'm not doing what it is I'm supposed to be doing, which, again, is an illusionary program from my past that I'm still working on. Now, I was doing another hemisync meditation, and this time they started coming to me with more of images than words, which I've been asking for. I've been asking to be imbued with more of a seeing and a knowing than an actual dialogue, because I feel the dialogue I have with the channelings or with the higher consciousness beings or whatever you want to talk about, it's very energetically taxing. And so I'm trying to find more efficient and effective ways of communicating that doesn't take so much of my brain power, because it really does drain you, actually. It takes a lot of consciousness, it takes a lot of physical energy to actually be able to keep that connection and that resonance. And so what I got from that basically was that, sorry, my neighbor's talking, that we're still in Earth School. I was meditating, and then what came to me was a school bus driving north in my neighborhood. It was almost like I was walking up one of the main roads in my neighborhood, and all of a sudden I saw a school bus go by, bright as day, HD Ultra, and I was like, why did I see a school bus? And so I started going deeper and asking, because I was still in that meditation when I saw it, so I started asking more questions, and they started coming to me with more answers and more information. And what it really gathered from that is that just, we've gone through 2020, we went through the Grand Conjunct, we went through the hardest year it's ever been on this planet to be human, to be a human being, to be an awakened human being, to be an ascending human being, to be an ascended human being. But that doesn't mean we're not human anymore. It doesn't mean that we stop being human. It doesn't mean that we've graduated Earth School, because the only way we graduate Earth School is if we choose to end this form or we ascend into light. And so what they wanted me to talk to you all about today was be the master while continuing to ascend in form. Our spirits are the master. We've already ascended this fractal before. That's why we're here to do it again. I truly believe that whatever version of ourselves we were, whatever form we were in when we ascended the first time, I believe we have to do it in the opposite form this time, and that creates the synergy between the dualistic elements of divine masculine and divine feminine. So I believe that I ascended in female form last time. So I believe that I was a female human with that had the divine feminine running the mental physical faculties, while my divine masculine ran my emotional spiritual faculties. And now in this life, my masculine runs the physical and mental body, and my feminine runs my emotional spiritual body. They say that that's basically what it is. I just believe that it shifts, because how are we going to have that contrast if we don't do it in both forms, if we don't do it as both a male and a female and running different faculties, so that we create that synergy, so that we have the full picture of how this whole ascension works and of how this whole life works, of how Earth works. And when we can ascend both in male and female form, I think is when we do become an ascended master, and we can go forth and become a starseed trainer, or sit on a council, or go on vacation, galactic vacation or something. Because the way I look at it is, one of my things, sorry, I just dropped something. The way I look at it is, in the UFC, in fighting, right, in championship fighting, you aren't a true champion until you defend your belt. It's one thing to win the belt, but it's another thing to be on top and then defend it. And it's almost the same concept with this whole ascension thing for me. It's one thing to ascend one fractal. I mean, it's very difficult, especially back in the day when the ascension portals weren't open and all these other beings weren't here helping us. But that's why I also believe that as starseeds, we've already ascended, and that we've come back to do it again in form. We're supposed to remember that we've done it in the past, remember how to do it, and then walk the path in form to show other humans who haven't done it yet how to do it, and also guide the other starseeds who may be stuck or struggling on their path, to help them move forth on their spiritual sojourn, right? They're sojourning so that they can accomplish their Akashic record in this life and then move on. The next thing that came to me from this message, that we're still in Earth School, being that we're the Starseeds, being that we're the way showers and the light workers, the light warriors, we're the ones who have ascended before, now we're here to do it again for others to see in real time, right? In the chaos of life, not in the Tibetan mountains, not on Mount Sinai, but literally in Florida, literally in Canada, literally in New Zealand, in the midst of the chaos of humanity right now. We are the ones to show the way to ascension, to higher consciousness, to spiritual evolution. Choose to chase your heart's greatest ambitions. Something I've been struggling with is I want to serve, but in reality, I'm not serving myself and I keep falling down. And because I don't have I'm not sustaining the energy or sustaining that resonance or sustaining the Holy Trinity for long enough periods of time, it's making my path forward of manifestation, my path forward of service, that much more difficult. And so what they're trying to get me to understand through other people, through these messages, through visions, and through books and TV and research, it's the same message. It's do what you love in every moment and you will never be unhappy. And if we think we have to do things that we don't love, I'm not talking about doing the things in the midst of doing what we love, doing those things that we don't necessarily want to do, but I'm talking about doing things that we abhor, that just turns us into this sourpuss face, just bleh, like angry cat, right? We just turn into angry cat. If you are doing something that turns you into angry cat, that is the exact opposite of what you're supposed to be doing. And I'm telling this to myself right now. Again, we don't have to do it any other person's way but ours. Follow God. You are a sovereign being. Do it your way, because it's the only way that'll work for you. Third part of this, walk your talk and fly your vision. Walk your talk and fly your vision. So a lot of us like to talk the talk. I'm a talker. I've always been a talker. And because of that, I've been a sloppy manifester as well, right? And so I'm a sloppy manifester because I talk my talk and I talk to all these people about everything I'm going to do. And then I start messing with the vibration and frequencies that I put out into the universe. And so something I'm learning to do is to let go of needing to be validated, my ideas to be validated by others, my creations to be validated by others, and for me to do anything, for me to have to talk myself into doing it. If I had to talk myself into doing something, it's not the right thing to do. That's, again, what I realized is another reason I talk so much is because it helps me reduce my anxiety. And so now that's something I have to realize is I don't have anxiety, I just have energy. But me casting it as anxiety is then going to cause me to use these programs from my past to try not to feel how I feel, to feel as energetic as I feel, thinking it's anxiety, but it's not, it's just energy. So now I have to change the way I look at the energy in my body, and then I have to change the way I act when I feel this way and realize that it's just energy and it's not anxiety. Small little metaphor to what this really means to me is walk your talk and fly your vision. If you have a vision, if you have a big vision, right? If you have a grand vision, you got to fly it. You can't stop. You got to go all in, all passion, all the time. You can't let anyone deter you. Somebody said something really interesting is, why do you think psychopaths tend to manifest everything they want, even if it's not really what they want or even if it's not good enough? It's because they're the only ones who are narcissistic enough to think that they can do it, to think that they can get it, to believe that they're good enough to get it. Even if they don't believe they're good enough, something else is in there motivating them to go after what it is they want, and they will not stop till they get it. That is true mastership. Regardless of the fuel you use, anger, hate, resentment, bitterness, fear, love, kindness, generosity, service, it's all fuel. That's what emotions are. Energy in motion is your fuel for your manifestations. And because we're so scared to feel our feelings and to feel angry or to feel intense or to be aggressive or to be human, we're stuck stagnating and we're not allowing ourselves to be who we are. And because we're not being authentic to ourselves, there's no way we'll hold the frequency and vibration and resonance to manifest anything we really want. And that's the key, is you got to be about yourself. So you got to walk your talk, is you got to put action behind your words, and then you got to fly your vision, which means you just fly with it. You go all in, you don't stop. If you fail, you get up, you do it again. And the only time you stop that vision is when you're like, I don't want it anymore. The juice ain't worth the squeeze. And if the juice isn't worth the squeeze, shift. You can still have the same kind of vision, but maybe you want a new goal. Maybe there's something else that you want now. Because that's what this whole co-creative experience is as a human being, is to set a goal and then create the necessary actions, take the necessary steps to manifest whatever it is that you hold in your mind's eye. But again, we get stuck comparing ourselves to everyone and everything, not feeling good enough because we're not walking our talk and flying our vision. And then the final part of this is let go of comparisons, judgments, and expectations. Be where you are, about what you're doing, and loving yourself more in the process. What I also realized is when we want to chase a big dream or a big goal, we oftentimes look at what everybody else is doing, and we see other people doing kind of something that we want to do, and we start judging them. We start forming opinions of what they're doing, or, why would I want to do that, or why do I need to do that, or we start deterring ourselves in almost a narcissistic fashion, saying we're too good for any of that. But in reality, the way the ego works, it's saying that we're not good enough to go through the trials and tribulations, which again is the misapplication of energy or thought, right? We're not good enough to struggle through the trials and tribulations to get through the other side to then manifest what it is we desire. We're not good enough, as in we can't do it. So we project outward. We project outward that we don't want to do it, or it's uncomfortable, or I don't like that, or that's this. And you start getting this little sassy ego version of yourself coming out, and you start judging and putting opinions, and then all of a sudden you're setting expectations and you're disappointed. That's all deterring you from failure. That's all trying to get you to not do something so that you don't have the chance of failing and being disappointed. And that's where the expectations and not setting them anymore comes in, is when we set expectations by forming judgments and opinions of stuff, then no matter what, even if we do achieve that goal, even if we do obtain that material thing, it's not going to be good enough because it's not going to meet the mental expectations that we set that are so lofty and almost impossible to reach that we're not going to reach them, nobody else is going to reach them, so that we can stay safe in our discomfort, safe in our unhappiness, safe in our anger and in our lack mindset, because it's familiar and it's the only thing we know, instead of actually taking a risk, taking that leap of faith into ourselves, walking our talk, flying our vision, and seeing that we are God fractals co-creating this amazing experience. And that's really where we're at. And so that is why I believe, as much as we want to be the Ascended Masters out of form, we're still Ascended Masters learning how to ascend again in form. And so there's still going to be time that has to elapse. There's still going to be things we need to do. There's going to be stuff we need to learn and study, trials and tribulations. Again, we're going to have to go through so we can learn to stop misapplying our energy or thoughts. And it's a process. And if you have awakened in the last 8 years to everything, but really awakened to yourself in the last year or two, we're at the beginning of this thing. We're still on that school bus. We still got that big backpack with all those books in it. We're walking around. It's bigger than us. But we're not toddlers anymore. We're not spiritual toddlers anymore. We are now full-blown kids. And it might sound a little offensive if you're taking it personal from the ego standpoint, but the difference between a toddler and a difference between a kid, that's a huge difference, guys. If you really look at it objectively from a metaphorical standpoint, to be a toddler and to be a kid in like six or 7 years old compared to 3 or 4 years old, that's a massive change in capability. That's a massive change in brain power. You grow, you put on an extra 20, 30 pounds. So that's a huge gain. And that's what this grand conjunct has done for us. It helped us transform from a toddler into a kid. And now we're on that school bus going to school. And we're going to be in school for a little bit longer. So if we can embrace it, right? If we could be the master while continuing to ascend in this form, if we can choose to chase only our heart's deepest, greatest ambitions, if we can walk our talk and fly our vision, and if we can let go of comparisons, judgments, and expectation, be where we are, about what we're doing, and loving ourselves more in the process each day, boom. This next year, this next season will come with so much abundance and love and light. Not without its challenges, not without its trials and tribulations of us misapplying our thoughts, because we're still human, we're still learning, we're still growing, but we'll actually allow ourselves to fly and do what we love and not try to be more than we need to be, do more than we need to do, have more than we need to have, and finally find that peace and freedom we so yearn for. So thank you. Thank you for allowing me to send this message to y'all. And I really hope you gain a little bit more clarity on your path today. I hope you get a little bit further on your journey. And I hope you get bringing a little bit more love into your heart so that you can see that although we have come very far and we are the masters incarnate, we are still kids in this spiritual game. We are still kids in this human game. And there's a lot more schooling we have to go through. But if we surrender and embrace that schooling, that study, that research, that knowledge, that wisdom, that path of the Ascended Master, if we can really embrace that in our heart and become that, everything else will take care of itself. So if you liked what you've seen and heard today, hit that like button. If you want to join the Army of Energy, hit that subscribe button, or join me on Instagram at the same name, @Army of Energy. I'm going to start posting content there. If you want to donate to my work, I'd be so grateful. I got my Venmo, PayPal, and Cash App links below. I just became a brand partner with Dirt. I'm going on 2 months, and my life is 100% better. So if you are sick and tired of being sick and tired of being inflamed, sick and tired of being unhappy because you're always in pain, check out drinkdirt.com/ace. See if this folic acid, this humic acid, this fulvic acid, see if this is up your alley. And with that, I hope you have a wonderful day, an even better afternoon, an even better evening, and I will see you all at the same time tomorrow. Take care. Goodbye.